Hey guys, Steve Zonardo here with Remax West Zonardo Associates. Happy Monday morning. Quick update in the market. Really nothing really exciting happened. It's redundant reporting at this point. We're at 11,404 units available in the market with 1,512 actually selling. So again, this is redundant reporting. It's nothing really exciting happening. Whatever's coming on the market is coming off the market. I mean, we had that big shift of like 700 to 800 units that were terminated, expired off the market that brought our inventory from the 12,000 mark down to our current number now in the 11,500 mark. So that's pretty much the same. Me as a business, we closed 4 deals in 4 days last week, which is fantastic. These were buyers that were bottlenecked, that couldn't find anything the last couple of months. We basically just got one after another each day, which is awesome. We only lost one in the mix in Niagara Falls, which we're going to head back this week and see if we can hammer another deal. Got a little tricked by the realtors there. I kind of triggered this bidding war. They weren't asking for a bidding war. It was a 48-hour irrevocable. Naturally, that's the kind of prime of bidding war. But we put a pretty decent number down on paper. We got them to present in 24 hours, but then by that time we had about 4 or 5 other offers that came in, and we got hammered out of the market, really, or hammered out of that property. So on to the next. A few things. Even we have a few clients too that are still looking in the market currently right now. The good thing is basically when we were always looking for properties the last month or two, maybe 1 or 2 that would come out that were attractive or sparked interest from my clients. Now we're starting to see, or last week, for example, we had 3 come out in 1 day. So this is obviously better inventory coming out daily, which is awesome. So we got a few more clients that we need to get back into the market, and hopefully we can secure that in the next week or two. Talking about something, I always talk about clients and family, friends, clients. Everyone's always talking about real estate in Toronto is too expensive. It can't go on. It's unaffordable. Something has to change. They're going to have to, adjust those numbers. I don't believe it at all. I got to be honest. I think where we're currently at right now is basically cheap real estate in Canada, even though because it looks very expensive. Why? Because we were born and raised in this country, and we've seen houses that were $60,000 that are worth, $1.5 million now. So ultimately, for us, everything looks very expensive because we've seen the gradual climb to currently what we are. But to a foreigner, someone coming from a foreign country, it looks pretty cheap. And I'll give you an example. I was talking to a South Asian realtor out in Brampton, very successful agent. He was talking to me about, basically how the immigration is going to come to play, because he's got basically 80 families that want to come back or come to the country rather, and they're not coming with a garbage bag full of their clothes. These are well-to-do people that have thrived in businesses back home that are going to come here and swallow up our current inventory. Why not? I mean, they have an established community in Toronto, and why not? Why wouldn't they come here? And I don't blame them either, because, imagine being through COVID. I mean, we felt restricted and we felt, congested. And, I live in Nobleton. It's basically farmland out there, and I felt the strain. Imagine living in a country with 1.4 billion people during a time where lockdown was permanent and lack of resources and lack of supplies was a daily thing that we didn't experience here. So naturally, this gentleman knows about 80 families that are lined up ready to come soon as these borders open with money. So with that said, they're coming in with money, which ultimately is going to be swallowing up our real estate. So things that we wouldn't buy normally, let's just say, for example, because it didn't have the particular hardwood floor that we wanted. It's not the 2020 model. It's the 2017 model. These guys don't give a shit, to be honest. They're going to just buy what's out there and just buy it like on wholesale prices, basically, because that's what it is to them. So keep that in mind. And I'll just read this article. This is what's kind of sparked this conversation today. And it's basically, it's titled, "The Aggregate Canadian Home Price Rose by 25% in Q2. So aggregate is the whole of Canadian houses. So I'll just read on here. "The aggregate price of a Canadian home will jump by 16% year over year in Q4 2021, which, yeah, I would imagine. It could be even more, amid the voracious demand." Fair enough. "The aggregate price of a home in the country is expected to reach $771,000. That's all of Canada, which is kind of crazy. This number used to be like at 400,000, right? And while appreciation will slow, demand will remain elevated because of foreign students, newcomers, and investors will have arrived." So we don't know when these newcomers, which are immigrants, and investors will come. Investors potentially already buying, but newcomers, I'm not sure when they're going to open up the borders. to allow immigrants in the country? This is a good question. Probably I'm going to make a call down to the immigration office today to kind of get a feel on this. Obviously, there's got to be some sort of way that they can get in the country safely. If it's a test or vaccinated, we got to figure that out. And for foreign students, I can't see that happening just yet. I think their school year is still up in the air. They can potentially do it virtually from whichever country they're coming from, unless they just want to get passage into the country. Yeah, I could see that too, especially wealthy parents that just want their kids out of their countries. Why wouldn't they? Even if they're on a computer virtually, not going to school, but they're they got a foothold in the country and more than likely going to buy a house for them. So the wrap up this morning with Steve, I would say buy real estate as much as you can prior to the immigration opening. Why? Because real estate will never look the same price-wise. This is probably the cheapest we're going to see it forever. And always go back to the old countries like like Italy, France. Look at their main cities of their financial hubs. Obviously, nobody can afford properties there. Everything is always leased out. Anybody that owns property never sells and always leases out. And these are families that have passed down properties hundreds of years, and that's what you do. And we're starting to get there, actually, probably a little bit faster than some parts of America. So that's pretty much it, guys. A long one, but a good one, and I hope you guys are doing well. And if you, like I said, you have any questions, always reach out, 647-962-4372, or you can always message me on my socials. Thanks again. Ciao.